Yes, many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Talk Sports. We are about to get into the second half of the conversation, starting with Eagles unveil squad for decisive World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria has announced their 23-man squad for the October decisive 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho and Benin. They did make the announcement earlier today. The head coach, Eric Cho, handing silver striker Ekon Adams a maiden call-up. Captain Trust Ekon headlines the team, while Samuel Ajayi, Terry Murphy, Al Hassan Yusuf and Olakunle Olusegun all returned after spells away from the nation's side. Stanley Nwabali retains his place as first choice goalkeeper, supported by Amas Obasaje and Adedayo Adeleke, while Felix Ago, Bruno Onyemechi, Bright Osaye, Benjamin Frederick and Kelvin Bassi are drafted into defense. In midfield, we have Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Onyeka and Al Hassan Yusuf provided Chile with both experience and energy. Nigeria's forward line is led by Victor Osimhen and future Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Terry Murphy, Cyril Dessy, Tolu Arokodare, and the returning of Olakunle Olusegun and Debret Adams as well. The announcement comes at a critical juncture in the Group C of African qualifiers. Nigeria's hope of reaching the World Cup had appeared to be slipping away after 5 draws in 8 matches, but FIFA's recent sanction against South Africa has dramatically altered the picture. So we will see. Nigeria have always put themselves at this critical condition a lot of times over and again, and that was how we did not qualify for the previous World Cup, and now it's looking as if the same thing is going to happen. So we'll see how these 2 matchups will turn out. And then joining me live in the studios is the head coach of Refined Nugget Football Academy here in Abuja, in the person of Coach Unamba Raphael. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Where's the agege bread and the and all of that? Why did you bring us stuff from Lagos?
My brother, you know, I don't like stress.
So that's why you went to the beach and then you sat down, you were unwinding.
You know, after a long season, you need to like go cool off, you know, re-strategize and, you know, just you and your God, meditate and think of what next and what to do next.
Your experience in the Abuja Kids Soccer League, your team did amazingly well. So how was that process? How was the preparation? The team, both the under 13 and also the under 15 guys.
Truth of the matter is that I actually don't prepare for tournaments. Everyday training is like a tournament. Everyday training is like we're going to war. You know, so I have instilled this discipline in my players that anytime you're training, play as if you're a champion. Train like you want to win. You understand? So there's no room for excuses. Even though we lose good. You understand? So, and I don't blame players when they lose. So going forward, Abuja Kids Soccer League was actually a good experience for the lads. We're the current champion of under 13 in Abuja.
Yes.
And we are also at another league that is commencing in a few weeks' time. You understand? Which Rodney Youth League, which we are still going to participate, and we hope for good outing.
Yeah, well, grassroots is very, very key to sports development, and Global Television is a very big fan of making sure that the grassroots is actually well taken care of, just like what Shehu Diko always says. We need to take care of the grassroots first before even talking about going to international competitions. So as a coach, how has your experience been handling children? Sometimes it can be very difficult to like put them together, but how has your experience been?
Yeah, it's not really easy, you know, but when dealing with kids, you have to be patient, you have to tolerate, and at the same time, you have to be like a father figure to these kids, so that when they see you, they have this confidence and you don't instill fear into them. Because once you start instilling fear into them, they start getting scared of you, and you see some of them being shaky when you give a dish out instructions. So handling children is a joyful thing to do, because I personally, I love kids, and I'm also a father, and at the same time, you know, I try to see how I can have this kind of a cordial relationship with these kids, so that in the future they can also see me as a mentor. Like, wow, I passed through this man. He has been a good mentor. He has been a good father figure, and it is what it is.
Over a couple of weeks ago, when the league was ongoing, a couple of your striker and also one of your goalkeepers were here, and they told us about how interesting it is to, get mentorship from you and the football education. There's something you always preach about, which is around football education. Now, there's a different education in the classroom, and then you are making us understand that there's something called football education. Can you throw more light on football education and why it's very important for children to have that?
Yeah, you and I know that some past players, ex-internationals, those of 80s and 90s, some of them actually got it wrong because they lack education.
They just have talent of
They just have the talent, but mismanagement of funds. You see some living extravagant lifestyle because they feel the money will keep on coming in. But have it in mind that football business is just like life and death. When you stop doing something, everything ends. So when you fall back to what you have in your accounts and you see that, wow, you've wasted a whole lot of money because you are not following the right direction. Following the right direction in the sense that, one, you lack education, you don't have people to mentor you, you don't even have a PA to pull you through. This is what and what to do. This is how to invest. There's what we call human capital too. Some of these people, as you're making money, you need to also invest on other players. So that's just like the likes of Okocha and Kanu. Believe me, these men are scouting for players, they are sponsoring behind closed doors that you don't know. So the money will keep on multiplying and accumulating and all of that. So going forward, football education is very key and vital because you see some players too, because of lack of education. Look at the likes of Emmanuel Eboe. Remember what happened between him and his wife? He was giving his wife, the wife was just busy signing. At the end of the day, he lost everything. So you can imagine a great legend of Arsenal and Cote d'Ivoire player like that because he lacks education. He does not even know his right and left. You understand? But because he lacked education, he missed out. Thank God to some friends that actually tried to push him back to limelight, but it can never be like when he was in charge of billions of nairas. So education is key, education is vital, and at the same time, there is life after football. That is some things that some of these kids don't get wrong. Some of these young lads don't get right. Sorry. You see, after football, you need to sit down, study further. Look at Brown of Manchester United. He's a lawyer.
Yes, he is a lawyer.
He plays football and he's a lawyer.
Yes.
Look at Anozie, Nigerian female player. She's into, I think she's a doctor or something like that. Because there's life after football. After football, you have to sit down. How do you want to invest? That is when you need to that is when education comes in now. So football education is the key. Okay,
you mentioned just this on Wednesday on Independence Day, we were at Luke Bay where we saw the legend himself, Kanu Nwankwo, and also Obafemi Martins, where they came to play the novelty match. And he also made mention of scouting players. You were not there, but that means to confirm what he said, that means he has been doing it behind closed doors, because he mentioned that they just came here to support the neighborhood and also to see one or two players that they'll need to, push further. Obago also made the same comment. So to just agree with what you're saying, yes, these individuals are actually doing all of this. But before we come back to Refined Nuggets again, let's look at the Super Eagles and our current standing. Before Super Eagles, let's talk about the Flying Eagles and Coach Aliu Zubairu. Looking at their out from their performance, early hours of today, they were able to win Saudi Arabia 3 goals to 2. We just saw the highlights. So how well do you think this team is prepared, going further in this, competition?
Yeah, going forward, I can tell you with my full chest that this team, they prepared well. They have good young lads. There is one Abuja player, this boy from HB, Ochoche.
Yes.
He was one that scored that goal from the city. Yes, Lancer. I think he answered the ball here. Yes. These are very good, top class players. These guys are well groomed. I know some of their foundation from the basic, from the grassroots level. So these guys are very good. And I think, World Cup is still starting. And I think these guys are going to go far. Group stage comes with pressure. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. I don't want to disappoint. And I remember there is no minor in the World Cup stage. So everybody is trying to represent their country and also giving their best. But I see them going far.
Okay. Now let's come to Super Eagles. What do you think is the problem with the Super Eagles? Do you think it's NFF concern or coach or the players? Because
yeah, I don't think there is any problem because football has really changed. You know, if you look at football back then, we all know that the likes of Cameroon, Nigeria, Tunisia or Egypt, and which other country again? Let's just say maybe like Algeria or Ivory Coast. These are countries that we all know that 100% they are qualifying. But Africa, I think Africa has really gotten it right. They have really gotten it right in the sense that everybody is now investing on grassroots.
Yes.
Go to Morocco. Have you seen their facility before?
I'm planning on going there for Africa. I'm planning on
if you go to Morocco and see their facility, see their grassroots developments. You'll be amazed. Go to South Africa, look at their league.
Talking about South Africa, most of their team, their guys playing for the Bafana.
Always, and they have very good football.
That's where Stan Wabali.
And I think that was what Philippi was trying to do. But it was not at this point in time where we have World Cup ahead. We could have qualified for World Cup first. Then if you want to bring in one or two serious-minded player that is ready to give in his every, then you can bring in one or two, not you just bouncing out the senior players. These guys have paid their dues. You can't have the likes of Osimhen, Bassi, Ekong. These guys are world-class players. These guys are first-team players. But I think the error came in from Finidi. I think I'm not blaming him. He's a good coach. He's a mentor.
He's doing well.
He's a good father. He's a good father. I love him so much. You understand? But I think those draws shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened. You know. So I think, my brother, there's this slogan we use. Everything is on God.
On God. Okay, now you don't get
because
yes.
South Africa is not going to give up. They are not going to give up.
They are not even going.
I think Benin Republic. They are not going to country. They are not going to. They are going to fight us to finish.
Yes.
You understand?
And so Benin has a point, so you want to prove it.
You understand?
You all fired me, and now you think I can make it easy for you guys to go to the World Cup.
And I think we are even holding him outstanding.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's a rumor.
No.
You understand that? So he's going to come out with anger. This country, no, you guys ain't going nowhere. But to the glory of God, in Nigeria, now we believe in miracle. And we're a praying country. Other countries too, they pray. But I believe we are going to qualify. Any B will qualify.
Lesotho now, it's a must win for us. Those two games now is a must win. But let's see how it ends out.
Our prayer should be South Africa should sleep. Then Benin Republic too should sleep. So Nigeria could.
But when are we going to get past this waiting for something to do us a favor? Based on the depth of quality that we have, like you mentioned, all of our players are world-class players. Come on, Victor Osimhen, he wanted to kill Liverpool just on Tuesday. He played with Galatasaray. He also came out to say that Galatasaray is the best team that he has played with. With a team like Liverpool, Victor Osimhen gave them nightmare in that attacking line. Aside the injury he had when we played the last game, we played at Uyo, I'm sure he would have scored if he was in that game aside the injury. But now, he did not score based on injury wahala. Now, looking at it now, Ademola Lookman starting, he is like the firepower for Atlanta. And when he didn't go for training for a couple of times and then missed a couple of matches, they felt like they collected.
Yes, they felt it.
If what's his name now? Alex Iwobi is not in that midfield for Fulham, and Kevin Bassey is not around for that defensive is a problem. Now going to Nottingham Forest, if the Awoni and the rest of them are not around, they are not there, is a problem for the entire team. But why is it that we are having issues when it comes to playing for the Super Eagles? What is the problem?
There's something I want you to understand in football.
Yes.
Europe standard is different from African standard. Pattern of play over there is different from our pattern of play here in Africa. Here is all about physicality. More of little bit technicality. You understand? And also, our major problem in Africa is pitch. Look at the pitch Nigeria played against South Africa. I was surprised that CAF or FIFA could even approve such kind of football pitch, a World Cup qualifier. And also, ill treatment given to most of these players, especially if you're going away from the airport, they delay you. Those things are like trauma. Time for you to go train, they don't give you access to training pitch, maybe late nights when fatigue, maybe when you need to rest and all of that. That's when they give you room to train. We need to wake up in Africa. We need to start getting things right. I think also the major problem that affected our players, because these guys are world-class players. These guys are foreign base. They are used to good stuff. Yes. So bringing them back to, it's just like you living in Metama. It's like you living in Metama and you are asked to go and spend like a night in Ajebule. You will definitely fall ill. You understand? Yeah. So we need to wake up in Africa and start treating each other equally. Not because of football, you try to... South African teams were, I think most of their team, 99% of their team, their players are home-based. They are used to rough stuff. Yes. But this guy, look at what happened to Ola, you saw the surgery he just did. I felt pain for that guy. And it's like they're even playing Europa League.
Yes, I think they have a game this weekend as well.
And he picked up that injury due to bad pitch. Look at Osimhen too.
Yeah.
So we need to wake up.
We really need to wake up, and we are hoping that the Super Eagles will be able to win this last 2 games no matter what. And Eric, we are hoping that he brings a very good strategy and a lot of technicality that would help the Super Eagles advance into the World Cup. I think that is what is going to solidify his job properly. If that doesn't happen, I'm certain what our Nigerian fans would do over the media. So let's come back to the final get as we get set to wrap up. So looking at this, you've mentioned all of these concerns. That is what Africa and Nigeria as a whole is facing. How well is Refinogate looking to pave way based on the fact that you are more concerned, basically, though you have some older guys that you're training, but you have more of younger kids. Now, how well would you sanitize them to build them to playing for Nigeria? And I know a couple of your boys have actually gone abroad for other academies. I think I saw one Chelsea Academy, right? Yes. So how well are you making us available a space, and what more do you expect the government to do in terms of pushing grassroots sport development?
Yeah, before going into government, I was given advice, I think 8 years ago, by a white guy. Maybe when next I'm coming, I'm going to show you my video with him and all of that. He said most of the major problem we have in Africa is age cheating.
Okay.
You see players of 30 years claiming to be 17 years. You see players of 25 years claiming to be under 15. Those are areas that we need to work on. So personally, I took it upon myself that, because I've actually worked with some players that are old enough to be my uncle, claiming to be under 22. So I felt this is not really helping grassroots football. So if you know my record very well in Abuja, I started with senior boys. Yeah, you did. But after that white guy gave me advice, I had to eradicate, push out the old guys. I started scouting for your young boys, scouting for your young players, involving myself in tournaments, Abuja Kids Soccer League, different kind of leagues, Then at the same time, I felt as a coach that once played football professionally, I understand the ethics of football, I understand the basic of football, and I know what to teach these kids. So I felt, since I'm not yet there globally, I need to train many kids, and once they are there, I am there. So that was how I developed interest in training kids from basics, so I can understand, study, and monitor their development. You get? To the glory of God, I have about 4 players abroad now. I can tell you that there are some players from other clubs in Abuja Academy that do come to do one-on-one session with me. Until today, some of their parent texts are still on my phone. We love what you did with our kids. So training these kids is the best thing to do at this grassroots level, so that if other people can emulate this system, I don't think we'll be having any problem relying on players that are not serious to represent Nigeria, because these are kids that understand everything from the basics.
All right, and understanding everything from the basics is very, very key. And with your job so far, I've seen your track record as a person. I've seen your track record. I've been there, seeing you train all of these kids. Sometimes I was like, this is the same thing I see Ronaldo and Messi and the likes of Pogba doing. So
can I tell you something?
Yeah,
there is a senior player. His name is Kingsley Nwankwo. He plays in Turkey.
Yeah,
he's an ex-international. He's just retired.
Yeah.
He said most of my training equipment and my training equipment, you would think maybe you're in Europe.
Yeah.
Because I have almost everything these European clubs are using.
Yes, and then, like I said, I've actually been there, and then I've seen for myself. We just hope that the good job continues, and also we get to see a whole lot of improvement in grassroots, just because if we don't have the grassroots very prepared, that means we would have concerns for the future. So we will just hope to see that a whole lot is happening. And I want to say a very big thank you for joining us on today's edition of Talk Sports. And this is the head coach of Refined Nuggets Football Academy here in Abuja. Thank you for your depth analysis on Super Eagles and the Flying Eagles. Well, this is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition. Just in case you missed the highlights or the game between the Flying Eagles and Saudi Arabia, I'll leave you with the highlights again. Until I come your way next time, I am Samuel Odi. Bye for now.